minutes away. Langford Park, Reese Terrace is where I played. Albert Junior High, that was up the street. While we were using our feet, we started using the beat. We were called two-tone, I was one MC with two DJs, Jay, my nigga T. We thought we was invincible as you could believe, but we were kids being kids. Living in the 80s, thought we were grown, but the world was very different. Lights came on, these streets, they will evict us. Sent back home to not become statistics, but some couldn't miss that leg, and so they fell down. No pops around, but the shots around. We gave it all, but couldn't afford morgue bound. Some applaud now, but never knowing how we made it up out of there without doing a bit. Wow, our city, the place of where I come from, that old shit story, they ain't my glory. Tell me what that sound like. It's just me. The city beautiful. This is my story.
Orlando has long been known as the City Beautiful, also known as the City with a Sound.
Live on stage,
The Sound.
Orlando!
So, is they ready?
You mean to say that's the best you can do?
Hip-hop is something you live.
Almost anybody could do better than that.
You know? Okay, the sound of Orlando!
Show.
Lock this down like it's supposed to be.
On your FM dial.
Is trying to hold this up.
In the house, this is your boy Rome, live and direct from Orlando, Florida, back with a brand new show. And today, I'm fortunate enough to have one of my coolest homies, my brother. We go way back. He's been tearing it up on the downtown Orlando scene, doing all kinds of different things when it comes to hip hop and when it comes to abstract DJing and doing all kinds of legendary stuff, man. He's been written up in the Orlando Weekly. I mean, this brother is what I would call part of that sound of Orlando. So, without any further ado, let's give it up for the legendary, my brother, DJ Nigel. What's good, homie?
What's up, man? How are you, man?
Doing good, bro. Pleasure to have your company this evening and kick it over some good tales about hip hop and all things dope. So let's begin. Before we get into all of that, let's talk about who the hell is DJ Nigel? Where are you from?
Originally, I was born in Trinidad.
Shouts out to all my Trini Massive. all tight brethren. Yes. All my Trini Massive.
Yeah, man. Trinidad, I came here with my parents at a very young age, probably like 2 or 3.
Right.
Grew up in Altamont Springs.
Shouts out to all my Altamont heads, bro.
Yeah. Altamont Springs, yeah, been there. Traveled here and there, but mainly I've been in Altamont,
Right.
in Orlando, in the park,
Right. So how was it like growing up in that Seminole County, in that Altamont area?
It was cool. It was kind of, I mean, it was what it was, but it was kind of hood.
Right.
Back in the day, probably our neighborhood was like well known for like being part of the crack epidemic.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah, we were in the news a few times, but it was cool to me, and crazy stuff happened, but it wasn't too wild, and people still kind of looked out for each other.
Right.
So yeah,
it was definitely a different time.
Yeah.
In that Altamont area. Shouts out to all my Altamont heads, my Castleberry heads, my Longwood heads.
Yeah, man.
My Lake Mary heads. We're talking literally streets of division. It's
man.
not like a big, huge town. The mall, the Altamont Mall, was the center of attention out there, and that had like a whole next vibe to it. It It was the Altamont Mall and that Albertsons right next door. And it was just like a whole different like landscape and
Yeah, it
dynamic
was.
over there.
Yeah, it was, man.
You know,
Yeah.
I grew up obviously downtown, you know, and I had that, you know, we had Winn-Dixie and Fashion Square Mall. Y'all had the Albertsons.
That Albertsons Mall, yeah.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
Altamont Mall. But yeah, so I know we were all like heads back in the days when it comes to hip hop.
Yeah.
But why don't you tell the people what drew you to hip hop music? And how did that translate into you becoming a DJ?
Well, like, so I've always been into music. My parents had like the old record players, the old stereo systems. That was kind of like furniture.
Right.
It was like big. My parents had a few records, and basically, I would listen to the radio and then listen to their records, and then I had like cousins that would gift me records for Christmas. So I've always been into music. Hip hop, though, I first got turned on to it. There was these two radio stations, WOKB and WRL.
Oh my God, bro! All my AM heads out here, bro.
1270 and
You
1600.
already know, bro.
Yeah,
Those stations were a lifeline in a world of we not playing any black music.
Yep.
Like WORL and WOKB were literally where you listen to hip hop, especially at midnight and after. And I remember that station coming in and out, and you just be like, you try to move that clock radio, the boom box to try to get that sound.
Man. You try to like turn the dial at the right level, and then
right.
You'd hear like all the static, and then when you record it, you know, you would hear most of it, but then every once in a while you hear a lot of noise here and there, man. It was
right.
Yeah, those two stations probably turned me on to hip hop, and then my neighborhood, you know, the car systems.
Right.
You know, so that was my first introduction. I would buy records back then too with my allowance money. The first hip hop record that I ever bought was Hard Times by Run DMC.
Oh yeah, bro, you already know. Yes, sir.
Yeah. First record, and from then on, started buying music from then. I also had a friend of mine. We would breakdance, and that's how we got into DJing even more. Every Saturday, I would go by my friend's house when their parents weren't home,
right?
And we'd pull out a cardboard paper and we'd breakdance on like every single Saturday.
Right.
From then on, from the breakdance, we started getting into buying music and, you know, just eating music up from then on, and that's where it started, man.
So how did you, given your Trinity background, how did you not get sucked up in the soca and the you know, the reggae music, and how did that not get more of you than hip hop culture did?
Well, it did. I mean,
okay.
I was listening to reggae as much as I was always listening to music. So, of course, listening to soca, calypso, reggae, because, you know, the family listened to it.
Right.
So, you know, I was always exposed to it. It's just like hip hop, when I got introduced to it, that was like just a new avenue. That also included what I was listening to before, but hip hop like encompassed everything.
Right. And so once you got into hip hop, how did you start getting into the DJing? Actually, what was the moment you said, okay, I could do this? Let me start DJing.
So I started I was always buying records and tapes and CDs and all that. Then around like early 90s, I kind of started buying more records, going to the, I think it was Bad Mood Record store. And I would also go to like pawn shops and buy like old soul records or whatever.
Right.
A friend of mine, remember Blind Alley? CJ
Blind.
and Mar.
Oh man, bro, you taking me back. Shouts out to Blind Alley, yo.
Yeah, CJ and Mario.
Yes.
R.I.P. Mario.
Wow.
So me and CJ used to hang tight, and that's when they the group, and they were doing a night at Cafe 11, and CJ was like, "Hey man, since you buying records, why don't you come and play?" I never DJ'd before. I just had a bunch of records, so
right.
That's how I got into DJ.
Right. That is awesome, man. See,
yeah.
But for the heads that feel like you gotta go to school, you gotta YouTube your way, or you buy your way into it by buying a bunch of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
You just showed a whole next way of getting in, meaning you never even DJed before, but
no.
Obviously that person digged your vibe and was like, you know what, you could do this.
Yeah.
And I trust you to do it because, sometimes that's the hardest thing, right? When you're DJing, to hand it over to somebody else and say, hey, you play, right?
Yeah.
And most DJs, they need to know you. They need to know your selection. And to give you that opportunity, I mean, that's pretty big time. And for the kids that don't know about something like that, my boy DJ Rich, shout out to Twice as Nice, said the other day, it's the right place at the right time. You were prepared.
Yeah. I played, first night I played, it was terrible.
Right.
It was terrible because, also, and this was the thing, like growing up to listen to all different types of music, I was a hip hop head, but then I also, I guess more experimental style because I wasn't just a straight hip hop kid. I started, playing like down tempo, like trip hop. And so when I first started playing, I was mixing those records in.
Right.
Unfortunately, the crowd that was there were mainly like hip hop heads, and they were like, the dance floor cleared out quickly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But, it was a learning experience, man. And it kind of showed me what my style was, and I had no problem with it. So I just mixed it up better. If they wanted to stay, if they wanted to leave, it didn't matter because that was my vibe.
Well, shout out to all, especially like when you said trip hop, like, dude, I mean, growing up here, DJing here, learning about music here, you had that world present here, right? So all my heads that, love listening to like, Massive Attack and Portishead Head and, stuff like that. It's like, dude, that was the vibe.
It was a great vibe.
In fairness, there wasn't a lot of places to listen to hip hop either.
True.
And so when people wanted to go and listen to hip hop and they might have heard something crazy brand new, it was a shock to them because they were so desperate to hear something other than the pop stuff that was always going on. So they just wanted to listen to straight hip hop. That's it.
And that was fine, and it was what it was. And but CJ and them still had me playing, and later on I got a lot better, and then it all worked out in the end. So
right,
it is what it is.
Yeah,
and I was still playing hip hop too. It was just like I kind of took my style, and when the hip hop style that I played, it matched everything else I was playing, because I was also playing jazz and funk, trip hop, hip hop, independent hip hop, not a lot of commercial hip hop. It was like a fusion of different styles of music.
Yo, Remington Steele said, "Yep, you
Yep.
already know. You
Oh,
already
yeah.
know, man."
He was there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And let's delve into that part right there. You said what made you feel good about DJing was DJing these specific types of records and blending them into the hip hop culture. It wasn't that you were trying to get away from hip hop.
No.
What you were trying to do was expand the hip hop culture according to you. You were trying to push the game forward. And shouts out to all my DJs out there that know something about that, because, you know, part of what I loved about DJing was not only doing what everybody expected, you know, in the sense of, you're at a party, you want them to party rock, you know, so you play your party records. But what I also loved about DJing was just what you talked about, the courage to play records in which people might not even be up on, you know, and no one else would even put that in a mix, but you play it and you do it anyway, and you're like, man, dude, you don't know nothing about that? You know how many people I play records and they're like, who the fuck are you playing? That shit is dope. I've never heard that shit, and it's fucking older than dirt. But
that's me.
That's the fucking vibe that you do. You play from your heart and you let the chips fall. And, you know, there's a fucking great fucking testament to any DJ that could do that and doesn't compromise their character just to say that they're a DJ.
Well, also too, like my first exposure to hip hop music was like when it first came out. Absolutely. So to me, like, and like my golden age, I mean, of course I love the 90s and that golden age style, the 90s, that type of stuff. But to me, like records like Run DMC, IOU by Freeze, remember that record?
Oh yeah, bro, you already know, man.
Then Dada, like that experimental type, when the music didn't really have, it wasn't
defined. Boxed.
It wasn't so
boxed.
Defined. Yeah,
right.
So to me, that's what got me into it.
Well, speak on that, because that shit was an important era. We were in that era. We remember when all of the greats had to have a house record on their fucking album.
Right, yep.
Right? And they had an up-tempo track, you know, maybe even the DJ had an instrumental joint on the fucking on the album. You know, shout out to Jazzy Jeff, who did the ultimate instrumental record. I mean, why that's not in the fucking Rock and Roll and Hall of Fame, I don't understand, because that's one of the greatest hip-hop instrumentals outside of Magic Mike Cut the Record. Shout out to Magic Mike. Because, and me, I don't know if this was actually the truth, but when Jazzy Jeff dropped that record and then Magic Mike dropped that, I thought Magic was answering Jazzy Jeff and saying, yo, I could do this too. Because those two records were fucking parallel when you're talking about quality. You know? So yes, to your point, it wasn't defined. Hip hop wasn't defined as, okay, you sing this R&B hook, I'm gonna do this rap. You know, it was like, you know, Microphone Fiend. I'll just rap through the whole record. And you ain't even gonna hear a hook from it.
Yeah, like the more experimental, because at that time too, remember, I've never just stuck strictly with a genre. At the same time, while I was listening to Run DMC, also like listen to Tears for Fears and Paul Hardcastle and things like that. So I've always looked at the fusion aspect of music rather than the straight, you know, chorus verse, you know, rhyme here, that break sample here. To me, it was always just doing other things. I've always been to like the other thing of quote unquote hip hop music. So that's how my style came up. Pembroke
Hawthorne says, family, yes sir. Curlin McLeod says she
Oh
knows
yeah.
what's going down.
What up, cuz?
Yes. So yeah, I mean, to your point, that made you who you are when it comes to DJ.
Yeah.
When you realized that this was like something that you could do, possibly get money for, what did that do for your confidence? What did that do for you actually going out there and pursuing gigs to get people to hear what you play and how you play?
Well, honestly, I've always had the confidence because I never really gave a fuck about what other people thought. As far as
there's a point. No, let me cut you off right there.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm asking that is because some people call it a breakthrough, some call it an epiphany, but I think when you're a DJ, there's that moment in which you feel like, oh shit, I could tear this motherfucker up. Like this is there's a breakthrough moment that happens once you because you could DJ. Anyone could DJ, but that doesn't mean that they translate that into action, right? So people complain, but that doesn't mean they translate that into action. What are you going to do about it? There's a breakthrough moment that all DJs have. When was that moment for you?
So, probably maybe 8 months after I first started playing, I was DJing one night, and my cousin's girlfriend at the time, she was there, and this was like at the end of the night. There were a few people there, but the crowd was jamming, and she told me, every time I hear your music, she said, every time I hear your music, I think I'm on drugs. I listen to it, I'll dance and I'll close my eyes and I'll go someplace else. And when she said that, I was like, that was the breakthrough moment. Now, as far as me making a bunch of money and all that, no, that didn't happen until later. But like that moment, that was like, oh, okay, it's beyond like just playing records and having people dance, which is good. But it was like, okay, you can take people somewhere with the music, and that was that breakthrough moment for me.
Awesome. So see, that's what I'm. When you believe, when you take your skill and then you say, I'm going to actually put this out in the public square and people will be touched by what I do. Like I become important for someone else's day.
Right.
That's that breakthrough moment that I'm describing. It may translate into dollars, but it's that moment in which you realize how important your gift is to people. And then, you know, you start putting that shit into action. I need to be here. I need to be there. I need to, you know, you start building these relationships. And I think that goes, you know, sometimes that gets overlooked, you know, when you're talking about people DJing, because, you know, for the most part, it's like, well, how do you make a lip, or how do you, you know, if you're not the, you know, big time DJ, you know, tech EDM DJ, or possibly Khaled's, you know, there's a lot of people that say, well, yeah, you can make some money, but you're just playing records. And for a lot of people, you know, including myself, I'm guilty, you know, no, we're not playing records.
Right.
We stimulating souls out in this place.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
Pretty much.
Know, I'm using my records to talk to you. It's bigger than, you know, just me getting on a turntable and playing your request. I mean, is that you? So I figure you feel the same way, right?
Oh yeah. To me, it's about like the story you tell with the music that you play.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
that's how I play records.
Right.
You know.
Right. Right. And so when you finally got that breakthrough moment, and now let's push it forward.
All right.
What was your first club experience or bar experience where you felt like, okay, yes, not only did I get that person, but I got everybody in here. When was that
Yeah.
moment?
So so I was playing that night. That was actually at Cafe 11. You remember that place, right?
Right.
Right. So yeah, when my cousin's girlfriend told me about that, well, that breakthrough moment was at Cafe 11. Then a friend of mine, Billy Dill, was doing the night at this bar called Knock Knock.
Shout out to all my knock knock people, the Kit Kat Club, the
Yeah,
Globe,
yeah,
all of that.
yeah,
Bodhisattva. I mean, those were the days of some real eclectic stuff. So
yeah.
continue.
Yeah. So yeah, I was playing at Kit Kat too, and I told him, and I knew Billy from like meeting him downtown. I knew him for a while, and I told him I was DJing. So he came out to Kit Kat, and he sat there and listened, and then he hit me up like later on, and like, okay, I'm opening this bar. It's called Knock Knock. It's next level. It's going to be strange, weird, and I want you to play on a Wednesday night. And he wanted me to play experimental music. So basically, whatever I wanted to play, but he said he want the mix to be abstract and eclectic and funky. So that's kind of like my first kind of bar club experience, playing really, really experimental records.
Nice. And so
Yeah.
this is like Orlando hip hop history, because that whole area, I don't think gets a lot of credit for the culture that it had on that specific Wall Street. Shout out to all my Wall Street heads who know about that spot, because now it's kind of like, oh, it's just part of the regular party scene. You go to one spot, you go into one spot, it's no different. But back then,
man, nope.
It was like you go down there, you could hear anything, and the vibes were always different down there.
Yep. So also too, and I gotta give a shout out to because around that, like, I started DJing because of the music of BMF and Fat and Jazzy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to BMF.
BMF, Gerard Mitchell, DJ Slack, Q Burns, Abstract Message.
Yes, sir.
Those dudes, like, they put me on to like music that I had no idea was being made. So I'm not gonna take credit without them, because they kind of like planted the seeds for me to go in the direction that I went in.
Shouts out to Beef Wellington, to that
Beef Wellington too, yep.
Swanberger, that whole
flavor
unit. Yeah, because that social, that Sapphire Supper Club on a Tuesday was the truth.
Man, was it? Like, and I've traveled a few places, but I know, like, I've never had a vibe as great as that spot on a Tuesday night.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go into social, now, and I'm like, it's just like, it's kind of like Fat and Jazzy, or it's dressed as a pop singer, because the stuff that they're playing in there now does not represent what that spot used to be. It was like an iconic landmark for hip hop culture, because most of the hip hop heads who had any gist about them, MCs, lyricists, turntablists, producers, we all met down there.
Yep. Yeah.
And exchanged ideas and philosophies and and shared love down there. Some great moments in Orlando hip hop history.
There was great moments, man.
At the Social. And like I said, I forgot, Go Lounge. All of those places, were a part of hip hop history. And it made for what, I know you remember the Orlando Music Awards. Those bars, and I didn't shout out Barbarella's. All of that little circuit right there was the tour spot.
Well, actually, Fat and Jazzy first started at Barbarella's on Tuesdays.
Right. Take it back.
Then it got bigger. Then it got bigger, and it went to the Social.
Yes, you already know. Shouts out to all my heads that would go to all of those bars in one night and have a fucking blast on an off night, mind you.
Yeah,
man. Frankie says it takes two to make things go right.
Yeah.
Don't forget all the Trenier. Yes, we know.
Oh, we know.
Deidre says the knock. Shouts out.
Deidre was there too.
Yes. I mean, like I said, I know it's kind of like the old man talking about, when we used to walk 12,000 miles to go to school, but no, it's not that. It's not that silly. We're describing the history of hip hop in Orlando, which was freaking absolutely unequivocally fucking dope.
Dude, it was like the Wild Wild West because it was new. It was you had so much going on that people just they created a vibe that I haven't heard since, like, just like that, the organic energy of the nights, of the music, of the people. It was like I don't mean to sound like that old guy, but nah.
Well,
I don't care who you are.
It's crazy, and anybody feel free to chime in. Who's on the listening board right now? It feels like genre division is not enough, right? To your point, yes, a place might be playing reggaeton, or it might be pop music over here. But it all seems to carry on the same character, right?
Yeah.
So you're bound to see the same kind of culturistic, dressing, acting. Everybody's acting like they want to get all over each other, blah, 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 blah. But there's no character to the spot that if you just, you had a shitty day, you ran out of music on your fucking in your car, you can go to this one spot that that's the only spot that plays this shit in the city.
Yeah.
And feel like not only the music represents that, but the people represent that. They coming in there dressed differently, they're carrying themselves differently. I mean, how do you feel about that?
What, as far as like
the character of places?
Are you talking about now or then?
Yeah, I'm talking about now. Like your take on that now versus then.
Now it's very I don't know. It's kind of the same. It's very uniform. It's not dynamic. It's just people dressed the same type of music, same type of vibe. Everyone's drinking. They're having a good time, but like there's no it's just there's no uniqueness.
Maybe the thing is rememberable, right? You went out, but it's not rememberable, right? Like there's not. Totally. It's not. You felt like you could have went out 3 nights in a row and got the same result, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like we've seen some rememberable shit.
Yeah, we
at
did.
a fucking club or bar in downtown and the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
What's one of the craziest things you've seen as a DJ in the fucking club? Craziest shit. Give me one. And that should probably be easy because there ain't nothing but maniacs in Orlando. So,
well, knock knock.
Okay. Knock knock gets the crazy story. Shouts out to knock knock. Let's go.
I mean, this was a night I was there. There was these two girls like across the way just kind of going at it with each other. That's the craziness I've seen. But if you talk to other people at Knock Knock or talk to Billy, the owner, it got crazier other nights. But that's just the craziest I've seen.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now that we talked about craziness, what tell the people what's your and this is kind of like to me simple because you've always kind of put it out there with these funny memes about the wars that DJs have to go through when you get drunk people who show up at your table or booth, what have you, asking for the most opposite of what you're doing and be like, we're supposed to make you happy, but at the expense of ruining everything, because 9 times it's an epic fail. You never please the people that you're trying to, because that's not, they don't want the record. They want a DJ. They want to actually go up there and give you a playlist out of their YouTube lineup or their Spotify lineup. And you're like, dude, really? Is this what we're doing? Like, they're not paying you to DJ.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be one song. I give you one song, you're going to ask for 10. You're going to be up here all night with your drunk ass. So, what is the worst record that you had to play as a DJ?
Well, see, I don't...
No, there has to be one. You probably made the one mistake one time and played that record. Which one is it?
All right, well, so I don't have to play anything.
Right.
And the thing about like the music I played, I've always played it because I didn't want to play the other stuff. So, I mean, people will come and even when I played recently, they'll still ask for something that has nothing to do with what I'm playing. So I've never played. I don't really.
Well, what's your funniest moment in having to deal with somebody?
I'm sorry.
That's belligerent and wanting, hey man, how come you ain't playing my record, man? You know, that kind of business.
Belligerent, like the last. Well, this happened probably like 7 months ago. I was playing at Robinson Room, playing disco music. And this one dude came up. Now I'm playing like 70s disco, 80s stuff, like, you know, deep disco. This dude like comes up and says, hey man, you gotta throw some Kanye up in there.
Oh no, man.
Yeah, and it's like, look, man, I understand, and it's no diss to Kanye or whatever. I like some of his. I got a couple of his records. I like this music, but you know, it doesn't fit. And for some reason, this cat's like, oh nah, man, you got to play that. And I'm just like, dude, you sound corny, man. Just get away from my station, bro. I dissed him because I get belligerent. Like when people request stuff, it's just like I'm the belligerent one.
Right.
Yeah. That's probably like the recent worst request story because I've had tons of others.
Oh, I know. You cannot DJ in America without having a crazy, insane person coming up. And sometimes it's almost like clockwork. Sometimes it's at the beginning of the night. They tell you what they're going to do. Oh, I'm gonna ask you for songs later once once my girls come or once my people come, and then or at towards the end of the night, once you got your set in, and for DJs, sometimes you're warming up in the beginning, so that's more open than not. But once you get into that midnight, 1 o'clock type of vibe, it's a wrap. You already know what you're gonna play. You already got it figured out. Shouts out to Frankie. He says now the clubbers are looking for what they're being fed from their phones. Then we fed ourselves, and it was like a banquet, right? Absolutely. Talk about that, bro. Hayden says just not authentic nowadays. Absolutely, man.
Well, Hayden, what up?
We sound like the old man talking about get off my lawn. You already know, bro. And then Curleen says, so true, so true. You already know. Like at the end of the day, it's like it's never gonna be the same. That's not what I don't think the argument will ever be that it's ever gonna be the same. You shouldn't want that. You should want things to push forward, however the fuck they look like. But at least do it with some originality, some kind of, come in there, where you have choices. It shouldn't be one big ass Golden Corral. I don't give a damn how much food they got in that motherfucker. It all tastes the same.
Yeah.
It's Golden Corral.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you went to Italy. You don't feel like you went to any. Like back in those days, the clubs had a distinct vibe to them all together. Some were smoke filled, some were, just very dark and gloomy. All these fucking spots now are like fucking lit up. Like just, like very, everybody could see each other. Like, I love that about the social going there back in the days. It was very dark. You go in the social
dark,
now, it's bright as hell. It just seems bigger, like a more warehousey than it used to be.
Well, okay. I'm gonna go back even further for you.
Let's go.
Remember, do you remember? I think I probably met you there. What was that club where? It used to be Cyber Zone. What was it before?
Cyber
Hotline. Remember Cyber Zone?
But I'm not. Yes.
I'm Hotline on Lee Road.
Yes.
That club, like the music.
Oh no, you talking about
that was another spot.
You talking about Breakfast Club?
Yes.
Yeah. The Breakfast Club was a notorious for completely everything.
Everything, yeah.
I DJ'd a hard rock skater like tour. And it was insane. It was literally insane. Like you had people mosh pitting, throwing each other off the dance floor. And I bought all these Nirvana records and all these Pearl Jams and all of this. And it was just insane. And then this was during the day. And then this was during Black Beach Week. And so once they left, we were bringing Black Beach Week in. And then it went straight hip hop after that. So it's like, yes.
Yep. Man.
That was the spot.
It was organic. It didn't with now and I'm putting on my old man hat now. With now, everything is so corporate tunnel. It's like everything's coming from like a corporate funnel.
Right.
It's back then DJs, they played records, they played just records that they liked, and they put together and they mix together. Now it's very this is the popular dude. It's not even if the record's funky or like has a vibe. It's just like, well, this is what's popular, so we're gonna play this because it's the popular record, even though it doesn't have a vibe. Everything is just like a corporate kind of, this is what's on the charts, so this is what's got to be played. This is the vibe here, and it's not organic. It's just they're told what to play. It's very forced. Very forced.
It's very forced. When we had the blessings, and let's not even take this for granted. We had the blessings of playing during a time where I could come in there and play a record you never heard before.
Yep.
And you would still fucking dance. You'd still fucking get down. You'd be like, oh shit, yo, bro, you played this shit. Like, like I never heard before, but that shit was dope, man. Who is that? We don't even
We heard
have
a lot
those
of
moments.
records.
Right.
Yeah, we heard a
We
lot of records that we didn't hear before, and that's where like you were turned on to new music.
You weren't quick to judge what you didn't know. Now, if you don't know something, you feel like you got to tell somebody else. Don't nobody know that. Don't nobody know that. And it's just like, you know, it not only robs the DJ of the character that he could share with you, but it also robs, you know, the person out of the experience. To your point, it's like Walmarting everything, right? Everybody's fucking Walmart. You know,
Walmart,
like,
McDonald's.
Right. I don't want no pub burger. I want the double cheeseburger. Shouts out to Andrew on the check-in. Nigel, I'm making you a Spotify logo out of cardboard with a red circle with a slash through it for Halloween this year. Now that's funny.
Nice.
Danny Green, what's up, Danny? What's up? Those were the days. You already know, man. Lynn's on the check-in. Shouts out to my sister Lynn, notorious for everything is right. You damn right when we talk about the Breakfast Club. Frankie says, Visage, 6 feet under, then close to the Breakfast Club. You already knew we were the after hours joining in Orlando.
Yep.
And then he said African Bad Body used to drop the monkeys. Exactly.
Yep.
You know,
exactly.
You try doing that shit, you know, in a popular spot right now, and chances are you might not even be approached by the people as much as you might be approached by the owner of the spot.
Yeah.
because once again, to your point, it's kind of like the backwards function of, you know, the what you were saying earlier. I want you to play experimental. Well, part of that experimental is playing an off-killed record that blends with what the fuck's going on. You know, if you can't play Queen or bring in some Nirvana while you DJing, how the fuck are you a DJ? I mean, because most of these records now pretty much tell you in so many ways what to play and when to play this one. They're all kind of back to back. You know, you play reggaeton for an hour and all you going by is the tempo.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
You know, what's to say? We used to make fun of this back in the days, and I'm guilty of it. House music. Back in the days when house music went through that point of it wanted to be tech, but tech wasn't fully out. All the records sounded the same. All of them. I'm not talking about the early house.
Right.
Where Used to Love Me, Inner Circle, you know, Dumbada, Dunda. All those records, to me, were the shit. And I will rock them on any occasion. But there was that phase like early 91, probably 94, 5, where house it was transitioning to tech.
Yeah.
And all of them sounded alike.
Yeah.
And there was no character there. I remember going in a few spots, and it's just like all you're hearing zzz, 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 zzz. And I was in there maybe for 10 minutes and it never changed. It was zzz, 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 zzz. So we've done that. We've house music, hip hop culture. I mean, in such a way that it tends to sometimes stop the progression of being able to get a world premiere when you're out. The world premiere is not personal. It's not. We don't hear it together anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, the way the music industry is, it's very big, and it's only a few people. It's only a few people that are getting on. Right. So now it's just now the music industry is too cool for school, and the elite crowd is deciding the music for everybody. So if you ain't doing what that crowd is doing, you're not cool. It's now the music industry is very elitist.
Right. Isn't that crazy? When the origins of the music came from the complete opposite of that.
Yeah.
There's no there should never be anything elite about hip hop.
No.
Because hip hop is about poverty,
Yeah.
about not having shit, and
Well, the thing,
and rising to get certain things to come up. But that still, should be. It shouldn't be as bougie as it's gotten.
well, the thing about hip hop is, which always I gravitated to it. It was okay. Poor kids taking their parents' records and looping them like on the spot. They didn't have instruments. All they had were these records, and they took like what, a 5 second break, and they danced off of that 5 second break for 20 minutes. That's the music. That's the essence of the music. It was like they took whatever they had and they made it into something new.
Right.
Yeah. To me, that's the basic of how I DJ, how I listen to music, how I play music. So,
Right.
I mean, whatever they're doing now, that's fine. But I do what I do because that's my foundation of playing music.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So when we get back, we're gonna go into Kurt Rambis,
Okay.
Black Suede Radio,
Mm-hmm.
and why the people need to hear it. Okay. So we're gonna get back, and this is what we're gonna do. Social baby. I got my brother DJ Nigel in the motherfucking building. Let's go. All right, my brother. Let's get into Kurt Rambis. What is Kurt Rambis? What is it?
It's like my production. I produce music, and it's the I. It's supposed to be a U instead of BIS. It's BUS.
Okay.
But it's a little production thing I do. I just released a little EP not too long ago. Check it out. I think it's pretty good. It's on Bandcamp. I think it's all right. I think you need to hear it.
Well, describe what the people can expect to hear on it.
It's all right. Think if Public Enemy, Kraftwerk,
I'm already liking it right now. You said Kraftwerk and Public Enemy.
Enemy,
You can bury
Kraftwerk,
me right now. I'm good.
Miami-based style DJs or Miami-based style producers,
Okay.
and David Lynch made a beat record.
Nice. 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 You hear that, people? This dude done made a sick mix. A sick mix of everything that is dope about music. Please.
Yeah.
Where they can pick that up at? Bandcamp?
It's on Bandcamp, yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like beat music, but like more experimental.
Yes.
But it's in different directions.
Nice. What about Black Suede Radio? Tell the people about that.
Just like a little kind of my production company that it's named under.
Okay.
The name came from a friend of mine. She was doing like some event at this coffee shop, and she was handing out little things when you're trying to paint a house, and the little samples to show the colors of the paint that people are interested in.
Right.
She handed me one, and she goes, "Yeah, I'm going to give you Black Suede because you're rough but smooth." And I'm like, And I kind of took that name and ran with it. And also the radio aspect was because I grew up on radio. So, and it's kind of like a utopian radio vibe. I think radio is important.
Right.
Even though a lot of radio is not really catered to like creative music anymore.
Right.
But it's like me being of that kind of radio type generation where radio was important.
Yes, sir, man. I mean, and like I said, this is what we're talking about. The essence of being different, approaching things from your perspective. That adds flavor to to somebody's experience. You know, kind of doing something that they would, you know, if I go to your house and say, hey, man, you know, you West Indian, right? You can hook me up with some of that curry chicken, some of that curry goat. Well,
Yeah.
you can
Yep.
give it to me how, you know, Caribbean One Stop does it, or you can give it to me with your flavor.
Yeah.
And it might be the best thing I ever tasted in my life.
Yeah.
And we need more of that. You know, and Orlando's one of those places which, you know, straight up and down, they are known for, you know, climbing those, you know, breaking through those barriers and bringing something different.
Because, man, honestly, it's like Orlando or even Florida in general, it's like the music industry it's because of us. Like the influence that came from Orlando. I'm talking about the rave scene. The rave scene, like the EDM scene, would not be what it is without the foundation starting here.
Oh man, talk about that, bro. Because I mean, we're talking about what 98, 99,
Like the
2000.
EDM, like shoot, the eight, like so. I never really went to a lot of the raves, but I remember hearing about it, and like once again, it was the Wild Wild West, man. Who is it? Like, I guess DJs like Sasha Digweed. Even though I wasn't really into them, they
Right.
got big because of they all came here. We had the Edge. We had what else?
Shouts out to the Edge.
The Edge, Firestone, like
Yes.
just
And various warehouses across Orange
oh
County.
yeah, oh yeah.
You know,
Also, cats used to throw parties in hotels and
oh yeah, yeah. Fields.
yep.
You know, Andrew says color swatches called
Pantones.
He said also to ask you about Funk Off.
Oh yes, that's an event me and him did because Andrew Spiff, you know, the artist around town,
Yes.
like disco funk DJ, he knows his shit. Honestly, like I don't think like I'll put up if you say you know funk and disco music, I will put you up against Andrew because he probably knows just as much, if not more.
I heard that. He said Chemical Brothers' first show
Yep.
was at Firestone. Shouts out to Firestone.
Mm-hmm.
They did a lot of epic shit
Oh man.
there. One of the craziest nights I seen at Firestone was when Kid Capri brought his 10,000 crates and had them all on stage while he's DJing, and I'm like, damn, bro, that must be one hell of a plane ride.
Yeah, man.
Carry
Yeah,
all
man. Yeah. And he you get all right because
Yeah,
we froze for a second.
Oh, okay. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, and Kid Capri probably drove all those records down too for this gig, man.
I heard that, bro. Because even watching those crates hurt my back, and I've carried plenty of crates in my lifetime, man. And that shit never gets any better, never gets any easier. I love my vinyl heads. Shouts out to all my vinyl heads, but nah, I'm done with that shit. I'm carrying my shit in the hard drive.
You know, I still play crates.
Oh, you already know, bro. You already know.
You know that. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I love my
to
vinyl heads. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to it. I'm used to it, so it works for me.
Susie says, "What's up?"
Susie,
Orlando Underground family, what's good?
Yep.
You already know. We're gonna take another break, and when we get back, I'm gonna ask you $1 million question, and let's see if you can answer that question without, getting crazy. So
do I get
let's see.
do I get $1 million?
No.
Okay.
But it's worth $1 million.
All right.
How about that?
All right. All right. Cool.
All right.
Cool.
So yes, My man DJ Nigel is in the building. The Soul Show, Sound of Orlando. Let's go. All right, brother. Top 5 MCs.
No.
Dead or alive.
Oh my
Dead or
goodness,
alive.
no.
MCs. Dead or alive. Go.
All right, so this is probably the most controversial aspect of this interview right now.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. We need
top 5. All right. So it's not in a particular order.
No particular order. I ain't gonna do that to you.
Melly Mel.
Okay.
Rakim.
Okay.
Man, it's top 5. Not you mess with me now because there's other MCs I'm thinking of, and it has to be more than 5. But
no, you good, bro. 5. That's it.
Okay, Rakim, Melly Mel, Cool G Rap.
Okay. That's men at work, man. Come on, that's automatic.
So
you got 2 more, bro.
So because I'm trying to make it all inclusive. So I'm gonna put like a group in there.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
They represent one person. Freestyle Fellowship.
Okay.
And Chuck D.
You already know, bro. that man wrote "Welcome to the Terror Dome." I don't need to hear any more from him. That was an automatic ticket to the Hall of Fame of hip hop to me. Okay?
Well, the thing is, and I will say the best to me, like the best hip hop group, is Public Enemy.
And you say why you didn't say Ice Cube, bro?
That's the thing. I want to say Ice Cube, but it's only 5. But Ice Cube is kind of in that, but it's only 5, but he's kind of included in that 5 that I mentioned.
Okay, top 5 producers, dead or alive. Go.
Marley Marl. Damn, man. Marley Marl. Who else?
Oh, come on, DJ. Play a lot of records. You must love some of these producers. Come on now.
So I will say, especially earlier, I don't know about now as much. Back in the day, Dr. Dre.
Shouts out to Dr. Dre. Yes.
God damn. It's the Public Enemy. It's the Bomb Squad.
Please believe me. I never hear the Bomb Squad mentioned, and those people to me are the base.
All right, you froze up for a second.
All right, who else you got? 2 more.
Two more. DJ Pooh.
Who? Now that's what I'm talking about right there. Pooh.
Yeah, DJ Pooh.
Not too many
And
people would have known about Pooh.
Not too many people gonna call him out, but
Nice.
who else? Man, Prince Paul.
Prince Paul, let's go. Yes. Your boy Frank said, what about Malcolm McLaren? Dude.
Well, you see, but then again, like, well,
Yo.
actually, but honestly, okay, so top 5, like, that's the thing. It's only 5, and I'm thinking hip hop because there's like,
no, you good, bro. You good.
There's 5 others that I can.
I mean, I love Malcolm McLaren. Malcolm McLaren made Buffalo Gals,
but
Hobo
actually,
Scratch.
But the thing is, Malcolm McLaren didn't produce those records. It was Trevor Horn. Trevor Horn is probably another one of my top 6 producers. Trevor Horn is in there too.
Shouts out to Trevor Horn.
I'm cheating now.
All right. Last one. Top 5 DJs, dead or alive. Go.
Damn. Like, okay. Like what? Like scratch DJs or like mix DJs? Like what? Like
it's DJs. What DJs? If you had to deal with 5, if you had to leave here, you had to leave the planet right now, and say, "Hey, God, can you bring these 5 DJs with us?" Those 5 DJs.
Okay, so DJ Mixmaster Spider D.
Yes, sir.
From 1600 from WOKB.
Nice.
Yeah, that's like people like who the hell is that? But
nice.
Him, DJ. Who else? Kid Capri. I mean, I haven't seen what he's done lately, but back in the day, Kid Capri was like incredible. Man. I'm kind of stuck.
You got through 2, man. You got through 2. 3 more to go. Let's go.
The DJ, what was his name? The DJ from is it Rich from Third Base?
Oh, you talking about Richie Rich?
Richie Rich, yeah.
DJ Richie Rich, man.
DJ Richie Rich.
Yes, Third Base. Shouts out to Search. Prime Minister Pete Nice.
Who else? Damn, this tough.
2 more, man.
For a while back in the day, I would say Twice as Nice.
Nice. Shouts out to my brother Rich. My brother Ray. Twice as Nice.
Twice as Nice back in the day would kill it. Who else? I will say, because I'm going by this probably DJ that influenced me the most. And I mean, he's not a quote unquote hip hop DJ, but back in the day there was this place called Station.
Oh my God.
In Fern Park.
He's taking us back, bro.
I'm sorry.
Station on 436. In Fern Park.
In Fern Park. It was 2 train stations basically that made it a club. Or 2 or 3 or 4, something like that.
Yeah, it was like a caboose. It was like a caboose in a boxcar.
So I remember I went there like one night and DJ, and I never really listen to his music after that, but DJ Icy was playing this music that I've never heard before, and he gave me a mixed tape, a little cassette. Yeah. Nice. So all you youngsters, little cassettes Well, I know they're cool now, but yeah, he gave me a cassette that I killed because it was like just he opened me up to like a whole new world of music that I didn't know about.
Right.
And he ended up being the Funky Breaks DJ. But probably my top 5.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
So we finished up that top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go to something that's probably gonna blow your mind even further. 5 is killing you. So if I give you 1, it's really gonna kill you. Favorite record? Go.
Favorite hip hop record?
Favorite record. It could be anything.
Oh, come on, man.
The record that you know, if you play that, this represents you.
Do you like Scratching, Malcolm McLaren?
Boom! Let's go! Let's go! That didn't take long. That did not take long.
Yeah, that
yes.
record.
Do you like Scratching? That entire album.
Yeah.
As a kid, was on repeat.
That record, I still play that record to this day, and it's like a friend of mine heard it recently, and he was like, "What the hell is this?" He's like, "Man, this record's about 30 years old." He's like, "Bro, it's like avant-garde music."
And dude, shouts out to Malcolm McLaren because between him, Blondie,
yep,
and the Tom Tom Club,
mm-hmm.
You know, they had a influence on hip hop.
Yeah,
that almost rivals, if not completely, is equated to Eminem, and they from the beginning
mm-hmm.
set a tone that to this day, if you're a producer, you go back and you want to get some of those sounds from, or if you're a DJ, you want to go back and play those records because those beats knock, But
yep.
for people, like I said, that were involved in hip hop, when they say it's strictly black music, hip hop had a lot of contributors to it.
Yep.
And not all of them were poor, but they made timeless music.
Mm-hmm.
They contributed and made some music that will last fucking forever. When we're dead and gone, they're still going to be rocking the Rapture. The way she sung that song, nobody's fucking with that. Nobody's singing it like that.
Yep.
The way Malcolm had the world famous Supreme Team on there, rhyming, and doing what they did on there. Nobody's doing that. I mean, nobody's ever fucking with that. That record can never be recreated at all.
Nope.
Tom
can't do it again.
No, the Tom Tom Club.
Can you hear me? Good?
Yeah, I hear you. Tom Tom Club, Genius of Love. That's never gonna be redone. Those guitar riffs.
Yep.
I mean, I dare you to find some EQs that will equate to what happened there. It's just not happening. So, we've been blessed to live so many years through hip hop and see the evolution of it, and we're seeing the evolution of it now, which I think a lot of the 808s coming back are dope. We lived through that era with the Run DMCs, the Beastie Boys, all these things. They used that was 808s. So we're back to the 808 phase, and that's a good thing.
Never die, man.
No, ever. Danny Green says, "What's up again, man? Glad you're on the check-in." Susie's like, "Hell yeah, DJ Icy Orlando OG."
Mm-hmm.
And Frankie's like, "The Opera House." So, yes, it's been awesome, my brother, having you on today, man, kicking it about hip-hop. This won't be the last time. I definitely want to get you in on a round table where we talk the state of the world. And
oh Lord.
Yeah. I know your intellect will definitely be well received on a round table.
You really that, man.
Hey, it's all good, bro. We've heard everybody across the United States. We ain't hearing from our people, so it'd be good to hear,
That's true.
you know, from our people about our perspective, our story, and how we feel about how politics is shaping our fucking world. You know what I'm saying? So definitely gonna have you on a round table. Orlando needs to have a voice, and the Soul Show is all about bringing that voice. You know what I mean? So respect to you, DJ Nigel. You know, as always, man, you've been a fucking legend in these streets. You've done a lot. You've been a lot of places, but ain't nothing like that old town sound. So you definitely are the sound of Orlando, my brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate
Yes, sir. Once again,
Thanks
let's
for
give it up
having
for
me,
my brother, DJ Nigel, in the building. Let's go. Yes, sir, bro. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Yes.
Orlando has long been known as the City Beautiful, also known as the City with a
Sound. Live on stage.
The sound.
Orlando!
So, is they ready?
You mean to say that's the best you can do?
Hip hop is something you live.
Almost anybody could do better than that.
You know? Okay. The sound of Orlando! Lock this down like it's supposed to be.
On your FM dial.
Fastest is to turn the whole this up.